What's happening? This is an unusual post, but I feel like in an ironic statement, unprecedented times, we all have a responsibility, especially if you have any form of platform, to make a voice heard. Because an old saying, what's understood don't need to be explained. But that's also assuming that common sense is common. Certain things that is just the old age golden rule of treat others as you would treat them, they seem like they no longer apply. And it's more popular to be hurtful and demeaning than it is to uplift and just move forward in unison. Now, I don't need to tell you guys what's been going on, what we've come from, what we've went through, especially in the extremities of 2020. To be able to make it out was supposed to be a breath of relief, a sigh of, completion that, okay, we survived the dumb shit. Excuse my language, but sometimes there's no other way around it. Only to arrive in 2021 in chaos. And life happens no matter what. So it's not about when life happens, it's about when life does happen, how you respond to it. And I think that's where we are failing as a people. In the situation, it's all bad, and there's no way around it. Now, you can go granted and say everyone has a right to their opinion, everyone has a right to their moral and political views. That is never a challenge. It's about how the expression of that opinion is put out there. And we've been given freedom of speech granted, and you have this right to express yourself and say how you feel. And none of that is what I've seen ever been put into question. Is about when you do express that opinion, when you do express that right, how it's received. And too often for any people of color, it's been met with demeaning, manipulative violence and just belittling people. You're wrong. You have no right to feel that way. You shouldn't say these things. And when you do say these things, we're going to punish you. That's the lesson that's taught with that. If you stand up for yourselves, we're going to stand up even higher just to look down on you. And we're taught that if you stand up for yourself, if you have any type of pride in your being, in your culture, that you're going to have to suffer for that pride. That's what we're taught. And it's more frustrating when you watch another culture express their opinions and their views and not just get praised for it, but excused to the point where it's like, oh, we can do this. It's okay for us. You just can't do this. And it's been a popular statement that right now, if it was a Black Lives Matter movement that would have happened in Washington, we would have got everything that we've been receiving, rubber bullets to beatings to killings in the plurals of plural. Now, I understand that there was a lady who lost her life in the Washington. She was shot, an unarmed Caucasian lady. And it is unfortunate. And there's no way to make less of any life that is taken. That was a horrible situation. And we don't want to ask that you shoot them like you've shot us. The appropriate thing is to ask that you don't shoot us the same way you don't shoot them. And I don't see why that is a challenge. I don't see why that is not something that's just fucking common knowledge. But again, what you would assume is common is not that way. I don't always go into political views because I know everybody has their own faith and religion and political standing, but everybody also has this training from when you're a kid watching cartoons and television. You know the difference between the hero and the villain. Now, we might not be sure of who our hero is, but we definitely know who the heroes aren't. And too often, again, in society, what we're seeing right now, the people we're supposed to depend on to serve and protect us, do everything but have the least expression of heroistic qualities where someone would look at them and say, this is the person that I'm going to depend on to be my champion when I'm down. Now, to look at the opposite end of that spectrum and to look at what is a villainistic characteristic, how many of those do we see proudly expressed in our society? Where you would say, it's okay, don't be too nice. No, you're downtrodden. We're going to abuse you. Why care about people who don't have anyway? We're seeing these villainistic tendencies not just in our immediate authority as far as the police, but also in our hierarchy and representatives of what we're supposed to be the greatest country in the land, and we are being looked down upon and laughed at from the rest of the country. Something that surprised me is when they were talking about assistance in this unfortunate pandemic that we're going through. If it is somebody's fault, if it's not somebody's fault, the situation of fixing it and helping people should be the priority. Now, so many other countries are assisting their people who are going without working, even to the point where we're saying, don't work, and we're going to pay you to stay at home so you don't have to put yourself in a survival situation where you have to make that choice of, do I live or do I work, and possibly not just infect myself, but the people that I care about. They're saying, you know what, don't worry about that. We're going to pay you to stay home so you can live healthy. Not us. They're getting upwards of $1,000 a month in each country, and I use a minimalist because some of them are $5,000 to $7,000 to $8,000 a month to survive, take care of their utilities, their families, rent. You know what I'm saying? Anything that would happen in life that we're all used to, and you can live off of that means. Now, in the U.S. here, we were just most recently offered $600. That doesn't even span the whole month. Now, I'll speak for the majority. $600 won't cover rent alone, let alone utilities and food, healthcare, necessities, excluding the fact that you might have multiple children. You have a family to take care of. $600 might not cover the groceries. $600, if you put $600 on your rent, you still owe that. You don't have gas to get to work, which again, you still have to do here. These are all the different things that we're taking into consideration and we're left to deal with by a government who is supposed to have our best interest. We're supposed to trust blindly that, okay, what they say is right. Don't ask any questions, just do what you're told. And then don't even acknowledge the fact of how we're treating what we deem as important people. Watch as we don't respond to their violent acts, their what they call patriotism, but when we do it, it's terrorism. So when we respond out of frustration, when we respond out of agony and pain and just sheer what the fuck, we're looked at as lock them up. You don't have a chance to explain. You don't need to explain. That's irrational behavior and it won't be tolerated. Whereas when the president responded to this most recent situation, hey, we love you. Go home. Be safe. We know that this was taken from us. Not even talking about what's happening right now. He's so self-centered and so focused on trying to get what he wants and throwing this temper tantrum. He's not apologizing. It's that kind of apology where, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm not sorry for what I did. I'm sorry that, you caught me doing what was supposed to have been accused of. But, I'm not sorry. But hey, we love you. Be safe and go home. I don't know. I'm not expecting any immediate turnaround, because if it was going to happen, it seemed like it would have happened by now. But sometimes it takes the right words to get to the right ears to just pray for a better situation. And not all people of any genre are bad, but you definitely have assholes in every corner. So what do we do about that? In God we trust. So God bless you.